What's up, everybody, and welcome back. So today's video, we're gonna make a cool little sheath for this throwing axe tomahawk thing. Had somebody hit me up, asked me if I could make one, and I said yeah, I'd give it a try. So cool little just cover just to keep it protected and other people protected while it's being transported. So yeah. All right, and real quick, I figured I should go over how I came up with this template slash pattern. Basically, I tried to keep it stupid simple. Took the blade, laid it on a piece of cardboard. I traced around the blade so I knew my footprint the blade was going to have. And then I picked up one of these little compass, right? It's got lead on one side, point on the other. And I basically used that to, once I figured out my offset I wanted, use that to basically trace around this to give me, I think this is a 1/2 inch clearance all the way around, just for starting out. I can always dial it back later. So I did that, and then I ended up cutting out a test piece with some scrap leather, ran some rivets in but didn't actually cinch them down, and kind of got it placed on here. I used some clamps to, hold this edge so that way it would kind of mimic being actually stitched together or riveted together, and realized I needed to take some material out of here. So what I did after that was took a piece of cardboard, basically just folded it in half, end up taking, I don't know if you can see that line there, and on the other side, about a 1/4 inch out. And when I laid it on here to trace, I just kind of lined up my lines so that way I would lose that 1/4 inch, traced it, cut it out, and then I was left with this. And then again, I figured out how far in I wanted to have my rivets, and I used this compass, basically set it, traced a line, figured out my spacing for said rivets, and yeah, this one here is supposed to be for the snap, but in testing this one I realized I want to move it in and up a little bit more just to take up some of that slop, and it fits nice and tight. These were holes I punched in because I was originally going to use like strings that would go in here and then kind of like wrap around to hold it, but I realized the snap actually works perfect and holds it good. So that being said, let's get to cutting this thing out. This is my leather I'm using today. This is just a piece of Horween Derby, and I think it's dark nut is the color. It's about 5 to 6 ounces. And real quick before anybody jumps in the comments and yells at me, I didn't put a welt in here because I didn't stitch it. If I was gonna stitch this, I would have put a welt in to help with to help keep the blade from cutting the thread. But because I used rivets, there's nothing that the blade's going to cut through to cause it to separate, so didn't do a welt. I'm going to make another one basically identical to this, but I'm going to actually finish the edges. This one is just natural, just raw. I'm going to do another one, finish the edges, and give the customer some options, and then I'll just keep the other one as like a sample. So let's get to it. I'm just trying to fold this in half just to get the fold started. And then, so I basically got to finish this edge before I stitch it, or not stitch it, but rivet it all together. And so I'm going to go ahead and sand this, that way both of these are the same. So it's going to get a little noisy. And then I'll do this edge last. It looks pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and grab my beveler and we'll get that beveled. Just going to do a quick tune up on this real quick. Cool. I think that looks pretty good. So now we can basically, I'm going to go ahead and glue this edge, and then once that sets up, I'm going to punch the holes for my rivets. And after, of course, we need to put our stamp in here. Gotta have that. And then yeah, we should be good to go to assemble it. All right, we got our stamp. So now we'll flip it over. I'm gonna just use my craft tool rougher and just rough up this edge here a little bit. All right, so I'm gonna let that set up and then I will be right back. All right, that should be set up pretty good. So we'll just fold it. Just trying to make sure this edge lines up good. Just grab our punch. This is the number 2 or 2.0 punch, and probably start with one, put a rivet in just to kind of use it as like a holder to keep it from moving while doing the others. And as far as the rivets go, these are the ones I'm using. There's the Buckle Guide number. You guys are interested. They're just a double cap rivet. Might bump that up to a 3 because that's a little snug. Much better. Cool. We just grab the tops, and then these you just push them until they click. Like that. All right, I'm gonna grab my new tool I don't think you guys have seen, and we'll get these things pressed down. All right, so this is my Buckle Guide press. What's cool about it is you can swap out the different dies on the end of it. So this is the die to do the double cap rivets. I've also got the dies to do line 20 and line 24 snaps, which when I started using the press to do the snaps with the those dies, made a world of difference, like night and day. I don't have any more crooked snaps, and what's cool about this too is it's also self-centering, so that's pretty much there. A little bit of pressure, boom, done. So it definitely makes setting rivets a whole lot easier. That's 4 of those things set with minimal effort. So now that's done, I'm gonna grab the sander and just smooth this edge out, and then we'll finish this edge, and then we'll pop that snap in there, and then this bad boy's done. So I'll be right back. All right, I know how much you guys love watching me sand. Cool. So now I'll go ahead and dye this and get it burnished and cleaned up. Yeah. I'm gonna grab some more sandpaper and knock this down some more, and then should be ready for some Tokonole. All right, I just did a quick sand on that, and now we'll throw some Tokonole on it. Not too bad. And sometimes too, what I like to do is I'll go like an extra step and grab some like high grit paper and just kind of go back over it, and I guess it's kind of like buffing. And then when I put the Tokonole, I won't do as much, just because it's already pretty smooth. It's not having to soak in a lot. And a lot of times too with this stuff is if you kind of just keep rubbing it until it kind of tacks up or sets, it actually polishes a lot easier. And then just using a rag, some canvas. Not too bad. So now the last step to do is basically get that snap set in there. So let's tackle that. All right, if you guys remember from my last video, these are the snaps I'm using. They're just the 10 millimeter S-spring snaps. I think they're B11s, the number for them. But there's a number if you guys want to look them up on Buckle Guy. And I don't have the setter for these for my press yet, but here's the part number for the setter for those. And then what I found worked really good is if you just go ahead and get that in there, right? Kind of get it set in there good. You can kind of get an idea of where you want to punch your hole here, how far the blade goes in there. And where is... I think I want to go like right there. Will be good, because once I get my snap, it's not too close to the edge, so I think that'll be a good spot. So and for one of these, the outside one, we got to make that hole bigger. So I'm just gonna go here and mark it with this, and I'm going to use my small one to run all the way through. And I know I should be using a punch pad instead of my cutting mat. And then for stuff like this, what I'll do is I'll find a scrap piece of leather because I don't want to go into the bottom piece. I'll just set a scrap piece of leather there. Grab my punch. And just run that through. If it doesn't go all the way through, just do it again. So I guess I can just use this. So then we just need to assemble this, and I'll just start from the bottom and work my way up. So I'll put the base in there for that. Set that guy on there. And it probably would be easier to do this before putting it all together. But if you do that, then it makes it a little tricky to get your sizing right. Or not sizing, but the tension. And that didn't go all the way through. So I'm just trying to make this hole a little bit bigger. I was able to get it in there, so now we'll put the back side of our snap on there and grab the other center piece. Cool. Do a quick test fit. Got a little play, but not hateful. I probably could have moved that snap a little bit further up. Like if you compare it to that one, this one's a little more up this way, but not too bad. So another cool little project. It's kind of fun doing these little one-off things. I don't know if I'll ever need this kind of tomahawk design for anything else, but like I said, it was a cool little project. Building something from the ground up. So once again, thanks everybody for liking and subscribing, and let me know in the comments what you guys think.